whilst I was recovering on coronary care, about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour later, he came down and said that they were debating if they could do an operation, and if they did it, there was a 50-50 chance that I would come off the table. So I asked, what if you don't do it? And so basically was told, we'll make you comfortable, you're not going to be here by the end of the afternoon. Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm 57, and my condition was end-stage heart failure, for which I had a left ventricular assistance device implanted in October 2018. I first was diagnosed with heart failure about 15 years ago, and I had a quadruple heart bypass at that time. And then everything went along quite swimmingly, so we thought. And then gradually I started to put on more and more weight. And the local hospital, I think basically ran out of what they thought were answers. And I spent most of 2018 going in and out of hospital. I had a little granddaughter born in August, and I'm positive that she thought that I lived in a hospital, because that was the only time that she saw me. Thankfully, one of the consultants knew Dr. Lim, and I was transferred over to here mid-September, late September, and Dr. Lim decided he was going to do a battery of tests, and the only thing I remember when he did a right heart catheterisation was him saying, "You are a very, very poorly man." And whilst I was recovering on coronary care, about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour later, he came down and said that they were debating if they could do an operation, and if they did it, there was a 50-50 chance that I would come off the table. So I asked, what if you don't do it? And so basically was told, we'll make you comfortable, you're not going to be here by the end of the afternoon.
And what is it like living with a condition like this?
With the LVAD implanted, it's a massive, massive difference. I can do things that I would have been scared to do if I could do them at all. There are things that you need to be careful of in terms of the cables, and you can't go swimming, you can't have a bath. So obviously water and electrics don't mix too well. It doesn't just change your life, it gives you life, and that's the most important thing.
Obviously you said about before with COVID and going to the doctors and stuff, has this been quite a complicated process, but now you've got this machine, it's going to make your life easier type thing? With
the pandemic, he's been very, very concerned about the number of times that I have to go in and get an INR check. And this machine gives me the ability not to have to do that. So that's a massive benefit at the moment. But also, if your INR becomes less stable, you're going to have checks more often, and that can really cause you a problem with living your life. So having a machine that I can do it and then ring in and get the appropriate dosing is a massive step forward, and it gives me the ability to do it on my terms, and also the GP the ability to do it on their terms. So it's saving them in staffing and giving them more slots that can get freed up.
Dave has no heartbeat.
You have no heartbeat?
I have no pulse, I have no blood pressure.
Instead of a heartbeat, you hear like a buzz. Oh wow!
It's amazing. It's very soothing.
So if you found him unconscious, he has no pulse.
That's absolutely
insane.
Oh wow!
Anybody else?
That's incredible. That is amazing, isn't it?
The day that I was, I keep saying being released, but discharged, a doctor came and said, we've got some student doctors.
Yeah.
Would you mind if if they examined you.
Yeah.
So she didn't tell them what was wrong with me.
Right.
Wow.
So we started going through all the
So
usual
you've been
things.
Mm.
in bed,
And then it's, I'm just going to take your pulse.
Yeah.
So,
And I looked at the lecturer,
Mm.
and she looked at me. We both smiled, and he went,
Oh.
"He hasn't got one."
I think that's why.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm one of the left ventricular assist device specialist nurses. So a left ventricular assist device is a metal pump that is inserted into the heart of someone with end-stage heart failure. It's implanted directly into their heart through open heart surgery, and it's powered externally, so they have a cable coming out of their stomach and they have to carry batteries and a controller at all times. So because these patients have metal inside them, they have to keep their blood thin so that it doesn't clot around the device, and they have a blood test done called an INR. So in normal situations they would have to go to their GP between weekly, every couple of weeks, to have this measured, and then alter the tablets that they take to keep their INR in a set range. It's quite an impact on their life to do this up to every week, on top of having their dressing from their abdomen done and also come into our outpatient clinic. So now, with the charity providing the machines for these patients, it gives them freedom to do these specialist blood tests in the comfort of their own home and send the results remotely to their GP. So they can do it at their leisure and the GP can dose it. It's also protecting them staying in their own homes during the pandemic while they're extremely vulnerable. And it gives them more time to do other things with their day, and the GP more time to see other patients where needed. So this is what the patients receive. They get the machines, a couple of their initial test strips and the DVD of how to use it, and the actual machine is in here.